Yeah, I believe so. Right now, you're checking your answers. I posted it. Day 3, falling objects, homework. Yeah. Move who? The answers are on the board. You should be checking your answers from the homework right now.
Miss, I didn't do it.
Well, then you can be copying the answers down so that you know how to do the work. The homework was this page and this page. Did you do the homework? Okay.
I did all but one.
Okay. Are we checking our answers?
Okay, which one was on that?
Day 3 homework.
What are we supposed to do? Okay. Yeah, I did that.
Okay. Thank you.
We're supposed to do these two, right?
You're supposed to do these 2. Did anyone figure out number 5 to get a raffle ticket? Did you do the homework? These 2. DeAndre, can you scroll down for me? What did I just check? Lucas, can you move over here behind Ashley for today, please? It was, this. Okay. No, right behind Ashley. Did you do the homework?
I can't be able to do that. There's a lot of yelling right now.
What?
I have arguments with everyone on that side.
Okay, but just for today, move there. There will be no arguments if no one's talking when they're not supposed to be. Did you guys finish checking your homework? That you should be quietly checking. Do you have your homework? What? Yes. Do you guys have your homework?
Miss, I didn't finish. You don't need to talk. I started it. I didn't finish.
You have it.
Miss, I did it.
Okay, pick one on the homework for us to do together. 5? Oh, Marcel, did I check your homework? For tonight?
Where?
Okay.
Oh, Miss, you checked mine? I did not.
Thank you. All right, we're doing number 5. Okay, I'll scroll down. On any planet, the height and feet of a falling object. Okay, so we're given this. Right? And then in this little chart, it says G for Earth is 32, Mars is 12, and Jupiter is 81. So you had to plug in each of those. So, for example, Earth. You would set up the equation like this. What's negative 32 divided by 2? negative 16. So then Earth would look like that. So then what would Mars be? 12 divided by, negative 12 divided by 2 is, so it would be negative 6t squared plus 200. And Jupiter would be, negative 81 over 2t squared, which is, what's negative 81 divided by 2? What is it? Divided by 2, not square root. 40.5. T squared plus 200. So you're trying to find the time it takes to hit the ground. So what am I going to set each of these equations equal to? 0. So you have to do this 3 times. You have to do it for Earth. You have to do it for Mars. And you have to do it for Jupiter. What's your question? Negative 6t squared plus 200. We found that by, you know how they gave a chart and it said Earth 32, Mars 12, Jupiter 81? You had to plug that back into the original formula they gave for G, each one, which is how we got, because we got negative 32 divided by 2, which is negative 16. Negative 12 divided by 2, negative 6. It's negative 16t squared. And then in the end, you have to, no, sorry, that's a t. I'll put a little curly at the end so you can see. This is a t. Do we know how to, let's just do Earth for now. Do we know how to solve for t? How do we solve for t? What's the first thing? Subtract 200. Negative 200 equals negative 16t squared. Divided by what? Negative 16. What's negative 200 divided by negative 16? What is it? 6.25? Now what? Last step. Take the square root of both sides. And you're left with 2.5 equals t. Why do I just leave it as a positive 2.5 and not positive or negative? Because you can never have a negative time. So your final answer would say 2.5 seconds to hit the ground for Earth. And you had to do this for every single planet. Any last minute questions before you take a quiz? You are ready. You have to think about, so in all of them, think about what your initial height is. I'm going to give you this formula is there for you to refer back to. You have, unless it tells you otherwise, negative 16t squared plus your initial height, so you have to figure out what that is. Set it equal to where you're landing. If you're landing on the ground, 0. Okay? All right. You have 3 minutes. This one's 3. All right, notes away. Okay. 3 minutes. Just put your notes away. Good, then it should be easy. Do you want to trade me? Marina, can you take your book bag off the desk, please? It's a 6. Yeah, do you want to give me something? All right, quizzes are out. Quietly. Quiet. No talking. What do you want to give me? Thank you. You have 3 minutes. Oh, sorry. I threw that at you. Make sure once you get your answer, you write it in the context of the problem.
Is this the building they're talking about?
Yes. Once you're done, you can hold it up. I'll come grab it. Thank you. Thank you. 1 more minute. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm collecting the quizzes now. You have until Friday to make it up, okay? I'm after school today and Thursday.
Oh man, I had flashcards from the other day.
Okay, at the end, after we do the notes, I'll check.
Okay.
Okay? All right, do I have everyone's quizzes? Open up your workbook to day 6.1, 6.2, day 1, the quadratic formula. Where's my thing? Okay, it says yesterday or Friday, Tim. Friday, we solved quadratic equations using square roots. What did they all have in common? So we had this formula that we've been using. H of t equals negative 16t squared plus h naught. Everyone should be copying this into their notes. And h of t equals negative 16t squared plus v naught t plus h naught. Where is it? What part of these two equations, what do these equations have in common? Miss J, 142. Yeah. Do you want the lights off? Yeah. What do they have in common, these two equations?
Miss, what does that say at the end?
Plus h naught. So we have negative 16t squared in common. What else? Plus h naught. And one last thing. H of t. Those are the three things that we have in common between these two. What's different? This equation has a v naught. V naught t. So this equation has a b term. Before, when we were just doing real world, we were using this equation, and how were we solving? We were solving by square roots. Now we're going to figure out how to solve this type of equation, which is we're going to be using the quadratic formula. Can I scroll down? Okay. First example says x squared minus 2x minus 15 equals 0. You always want this equation that they're given to be set equal to 0. If it's not, we have to change it around so that it is set equal to 0. So the first thing that you're always going to do before you solve is write the formula, which is x equals what? Say it out loud. Negative. Nope, we're doing the quadratic formula. So negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. The first thing we're going to do, second thing we're going to do, is define our a, b, and c. What's our a? What's the coefficient with our x squared? What is the coefficient in front of that? 1. What's our b? Negative 2. And our c? Negative 15. So if it helps, refer back to this equation to know what your a, b, and c were going to be. So I want you to draw a line down through here so that we can plug in what we have. we have negative, our b is a negative 2. Always write in the parentheses so that you're not messing up the sign. Plus or minus square root negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1, which is our A, and negative 15, which is our C. All over, sorry, it's a little crooked, 2 times A, which is 1. Let's simplify. What's a negative 2? 2. Plus or minus negative 2 squared? 4. Minus, okay, actually for this part, before you do anything, you have to figure out what your sign is for right here. So we have a negative 4, a 1, and a negative 15. What's our sign going to be, a plus or a minus? A plus, why? Because we have 2 negatives and a positive, which will always come out to a positive. 4 times 1 times 15? 60. 2 times 1? What's your question?
Wouldn't it still be negative 2?
No, because a negative 2 squared really means negative 2 times negative 2, which becomes a positive 4. All right, let's keep simplifying. 2 plus or minus 60 plus 4, 64, all divided by 2. So we have 2 plus or minus what? What's the square root of 64? 8. Oops. Okay, so we have our general formula, I guess you could say.
I'm off of the part where it's all the way up. Like where it says, where you put like negative 2 squared.
Okay, so for here, since it's b minus 4ac, we're just taking what we know for a, b, and c and plugging it in for those.
Yeah, but like the way you multiply it, I don't understand that.
Okay, so what's negative 2 squared? 4. Do you get that part?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have basically a negative 4 times 1 times negative 15. So we have a negative times a positive times a negative, right? And that's always going to come out to be a positive, which is why we add whatever number we get. Okay? And then afterwards, just look at the numbers. A 4 and a 1 and a 15, that's going to come out to 60. So our first x is going to be 2 plus 8 divided by 2. 2 plus 8? 10 divided by 2 equals 5. That's our first answer. Our second x is going to be 2 minus 8 divided by 2. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. So this isn't hard because you're just plugging in numbers, but it's really important to stay super organized with your work because it's easy to mess up. Don't just plug things into the calculator because it's a 50% chance it's not going to come out as the right number. Okay? Do every step out. Do you have any questions? Okay, let's move on. Number 2. Is this in the right form to start? Why? It's not equal to 0, so what's the first thing we're going to do? We want to get rid of these two terms. So let's get rid of one of them. Subtract. What do you want me to do? Subtract x squared. What's 3x squared minus x squared? 2x squared. So we're left with 2x squared plus 4 equals negative 6x. Now what do we have to do? What do we have to do? I want everyone sitting straight up, no leaning on your desks. How do I get rid of this 6x? Add 6x. Two x squared plus 6x plus 4 equals 0. Is this in the right form? Yes, it is. What's our A?
2.
What's our B?
6.
And our C?
4.
4. First thing we're going to write is the quadratic formula. X equals negative B plus or minus I want someone else to say it out loud. B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Negative 6 plus or minus 6 squared minus 4 The 5 people still leaning, sit up straight, please. Okay, please sit up. 4 times. Yes, but we're still taking notes right now. 4 times. Times. All over 2 times 2. All right, let's simplify. Negative 6 plus or minus square root 36 minus or plus. You tell me. Minus 32 all over 4. Finish it on your own and double check with me when you're done. Negative 6 plus or minus 2, 4. What'd you guys get? And negative 6 minus 2 divided by 4 is? Negative 2. Lucas, sit up. All right, try number 3. Yeah. Yeah, quickly. Ooh. Did everyone get to this step? What's the simplified? What's under the square root? What's how can I write that simplified? 9 plus 16. Nine plus 16? 25. What's the square root of 25?
4.
So we're going to have x equals -3 plus 5 over -2. And x equals -3 minus 5 over -2. All right, find our x's and let me know. What did we get? Someone else, what did we get? Our first x. -1 and 4. Make sure you clearly put a box around there so you know what your answers are. All right, number 4. Is this in the form that I need? What do I have to do? Subtract 5x. All right, do it on your own. Let me know what you get. Make sure you're always writing the quadratic formula before you plug anything in. All right, who got to the simplified step? 5 plus or minus what? 9. Minus 12. Did I mess something up?
Yeah.
What?
It's negative. It's 25.
And I put 3. -5 squared is 25 minus 12. Say it a little louder. I can't hear. 2 times 3? 6. 5 plus or minus square root of what? 25 minus 12. 13. All divided by 6. Type in your calculator. Let me know what the square root of 13 is. 5 plus or minus 3 point, what is it?
3.605.
All over 6. Okay, so we're going to have x equals 5 plus 3.605 divided by 6, which is 8.605 divided by 6, which is what? There. Taking the notes. Which is what? What is it? 1.434. That's our first x. Now we have to do 5 minus 3.60, is it 6? 0.606? 5 over 6. So what do I get? What's 5 minus 3.605? 2 point. Nope. 5 minus 3.606 is what? Do it in your calculator. Let me know. It should be 1 point something.
4.394.
Thank you. What's that divided by 6? 5 minus 3.605.
Yes, I got 0.233.
0 point.
233.
Yep, that sounds good. And those are 2 solutions. So that means if we were to plug either of those numbers back into our original formula, it would equal 0. 5 through 10 are your homework, so we're going to take the rest of class to start that. Or finish. Right. Also, really quick, on the back board, I listed all the names of people that are missing assignments. It says the assignment on the top. So if you already showed me something or you want to show me something now, you can. Yeah, E. Oh, it's fine. I meant E. I'll fix that. That's the syllabus sheet, the bottom half. You did?
Yeah. But I handed you the link.
Okay, I'll look for it again.
Some people were showing me cards, because I know I did a couple homework checks, but Ms.
No.
Tina runs the grade book. I oversee it.
What are you showing me?
The
flashcards?
Actually, missing assignments, late work, we've got one master clipboard for the grades, and she's got it. So
Okay.
I like to know that you did it, but who ultimately should be.
Did you do the day 1 homework?
Right. Because otherwise it's
No, I
Okay.
didn't
All right.
her.
I can show it to you tomorrow.
It gets
Yeah.
raised. So let me know, and I'll celebrate with you that you made it up. But one more time, who all assignments get shown to? Correct. If you have a question, you can ask the that's fine.
What did he mean on the board?
You're not making anything.
Oh, you did?
It's fine. If anybody has their name on this board, they have till Friday, and then those zeros are permanent.
Also, if you did number 5 and you want to show me for a raffle ticket, you can.
No, like.
Hold on 1 second.
Half sheet, blue sign sheet from home.